Time for a look at the Simulated Baseball League results, and I'm going to do this in an unusual way. I normally do one section per recording. We're down to the critical games now, the final 3 days, 3 sessions per day. The Sunday morning and afternoon schedules are identical, so I'm going to do this as morning and afternoon combined with each of the matchups. Almost think of it as a doubleheader in a way. That's not how it's scheduled, but that's how I'll go through the game. So let's get right to it. Lots of critical matchups to tell you about on what will be a 30-game, 2-session scoreboard review. We'll start with important games for the Red Sox. The Dodgers are about ready to clinch their division, but the Red Sox are very much in the thick of a playoff race. The Red Sox win the morning game against the Dodgers by a 3-1 score. Cy Young the win 23-7, and the loss to Tommy John 10-12, and Koji Uehara saved 35, no home runs in the morning game. The second game, the Dodgers win 3-1, that being the afternoon contest. Sandy Koufax wins that one 18-8, a complete game for Koufax, and the Boston loss to Dutch Leonard. Dutch Leonard is now 13-11 for Leonard. So, based on the morning and the afternoon results, the Red Sox and the Dodgers split. The other team in the position of leadership, the Astros, who were leading that wild card race and trying to catch the Braves. So we'll look at their 2 games with the Marlins. The morning game goes to Houston by a 2-1 score. Mike Scott the win, 19-10. Dontrelle Willis the loss, 9-10. Billy Wagner his 35th save. Jeff Bagwell of Houston the only home run, number 49 for Bagwell. Houston also takes the second game of the day in the afternoon against the Marlins. The final in that was 10-6 Astros. J.R. Richard the winner, 20-9. And the Miami loss to A.J. Burnett, 3-10. Marlon Charles Johnson hit the game's only home run, number 18. Now, as far as the Braves, they win their morning game against the New York Mets in 13 innings by a score of 11-9. Gene Garber gets the Atlanta win, 2-1. Skip Lockwood the loss for the Mets, 1-4. Home runs in this game for Atlanta: Dale Murphy a pair, numbers 27 and 28. For the Mets, Beltran number 29, Strawberry number 37, Alfonso number 7, and Bob Johnson, a backup infielder, hit number 1. That was in the morning game. In the afternoon game, the Mets again fall in extra innings. The Braves beat them 7-5 in 11, and so Atlanta will maintain a half-game lead on Houston for the Sun Belt Division, also known as the National League East. Greg Maddux again is denied a decision. Craig Kimbrell is the winner, 6-6. And the loss to Randy Myers, 3-7. And Rafael Soriano picks up a save, number 3. The Mets get the only home run. Mike Piazza hit number 18. So Houston will be the team that hangs on to that wild card lead. They have now tied the Red Sox in terms of overall record, with Boston splitting their 2 games. The Yankees, however, cannot gain ground on Boston. The Yankees won the morning game 22-7 over the Nationals. Bob Turley 9-16 over Pedro Martinez, 13-14. Home runs for the Yankees: Clayton Bellinger hit number 2. DiMaggio hit number 33. Gehrig hit number 50. Mantle hit 3, number 60, 61, and 62. Ruth hit a pair, numbers 67 and 68, and Posada hit a pair, numbers 19 and 20. The Yankees hit 10 home runs in this game. The Nationals hit none. However, the Nationals won the afternoon game. Final score in that was 5-2 Nationals, and so the Yankees drop a game, or actually they stay right where they were, behind the Red Sox, and that's critical because the Astros are now further out in front of the Yankees as well. Dennis Martinez the win, 11 and 12. Ron Guidry a tough loss, 15 and 11, and Tyler Clippard the save, number 30. Rusty Staub hit home run 22 for the Nationals, the former Montreal Expo known as La Grande Orange. Lou Gehrig a pair for New York, numbers 51 and 52, not enough. Yankees get a split with the Nationals between the morning and the afternoon games. As far as the Orioles are concerned, they win their morning game 4-3 over Oakland. So when Boston won, Baltimore also a winner. And that means at minimal Baltimore is going to hang on to that one-game lead. We'll see what they do in the afternoon game here in just a second. Mike Cuellar the win, 12 and 14. Over Catfish Hunter, 12 and 14. Todd Froworth saved 10. Gentile hit number 38. And Brooks Robinson hit number 16 for Baltimore. Jimmy Fox hit number 62 for New York. He's tied with Mantle of the Yankees for second in home runs, but they trail Ruth by 6 in the home run race. Now in the second game, the afternoon affair, the Orioles also beat Oakland 10-4, so that means Boston loses ground. They're now tied for the division and the wild card. Oh my goodness. In this game, Dave McNally 13 and 11 over Lefty Grove, 10 and 17. Home runs for Baltimore. Gentile hit number 39 and Sisler hit number 35. For Oakland, Tejada hit number 17. Fox hit number 63. And Bando hit a pair, numbers 19 and 20. Now, as far as the Giants go, they will not gain any ground on Houston because the Giants split. They beat the Padres 4-1 in the morning game. Mathewson the win, 22 and 6, and the loss will be charged to Peavy, 16 and 10. For the Giants, Bonds hit number 38, Ott hit number 43. In the afternoon game, the Padres, a dramatic 7-6, 14-inning victory over the Giants. Rob Nin, who had been demoted out of the closer spot a long time ago, took the loss for the Giants. So it's Chris Young 6-2 over Rob Nin 1-2. And in this game for San Diego, Winfield hit number 28, Caminiti hit number 25, and Adrian Gonzalez hit number 34. The Giants got home run 44 from Mel Ott. So they split with San Diego. A couple sets of games on the National League side of the alignment that don't have playoff implications. We'll tell you about those. First, in the morning game, the Phillies beat the Rangers 9-8 in 10 innings. Antonio Bastardo is the Philadelphia winner, 2-0, and the Texas lost to Neftali Feliz 3-5. The Phillies hit the only home runs in the game. Dykstra number 14 and Klein hit number 25. Phillies also in the afternoon game, 7-3. Steve Carlton 11 and 14 over Charlie Huff 9 and 14. For Philadelphia, Ryan Howard at number 49. Schmidt hit a pair, numbers 47 and 48. The Rangers again did not play long ball. at Philly. The other matchup with no playoff implication, the Rays and the Angels. The morning game, the Angels win 10-6. Jared Weaver, the winner, 10-17 over Arrojo, 4-18. Parrish at number 26 for the Angels. The Rays get 3 home runs. Keppinger, number 7. Pena, number 30, and Longoria hit number 19. In the afternoon game, the Rays win it 4-3 in 10 innings. Fernando Rodney is the winner at 7-7. Tom Morgan, the loss, 3-5. Ernesto Frieri charged with his second blown save. And DeCinces of the Angels hit the only home run. That's 17 for him. Now on to the American League side of this geographic-based alignment. Lots of major games to get to here as well. Let's start on that side of the alignment with the American League West, which is that upper Midwest division, the Twins, Cubs, White Sox, and Brewers. First, the Cubs and White Sox. Morning game, White Sox win 3-1. That will extend their lead in the division to a game and a half over the Cubs. In the 3-1 White Sox victory, Keith Falk the win in relief, 10-2. The loss for the Cubs to Mark Prior, 9-14, and Hoyt Wilhelm picks up the save. That is 38 for Wilhelm. Each team gets 1 home run. Dye, number 38 for the White Sox. Billy Williams, number 30 for the Cubs. And the White Sox will also win the afternoon game 1-0. That is huge. That now gives them a 2.5 game lead on the Cubs. Frank Owen throws a 10-hit shutout. He goes a complete game, 10 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. Talk about letting your defense get the outs for you. Frank Owen the win, 15-12. Larry French the loss, 8-13. Although he pitched very well in the 8-inning complete game that he threw. 4 hits, 1 run earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. No homers in the game, and the White Sox now have a 2.5 game lead on the Cubs. That, of course, means the Twins could bypass the Cubs and move into second. So we'll now look at how the Twins fare. Their morning game, the Twins edge the Pirates 7-6. That's a critical loss for Pittsburgh as they're trying to continue to make a run to the wild card. Joe Nathan, the Minnesota win 5-5 after being charged with a blown save, which was his 3rd, so they won it in their last at bat. Jason Grilli, the Pittsburgh closer, charged with a loss 2-7 as he came in a tie game. The only home runs, both by Minnesota players, Rod Carew and Goose Goslin, the old Washington Senator, both hit number 8 for Minnesota in the morning game. Minnesota wins big in the afternoon game, 11-0. And so the Twins have bypassed the Cubs in the division race. They stay 1.5 back of the White Sox. They're now a game in front of the Cubs. John Smiley, the win, 9-14. The loss for Pittsburgh, Doug Drabek, 15-11. And Pinto of Minnesota, the backup catcher, hit his 7th home run. Now, as far as the Pirates are concerned, they have to hope that the teams they're trying to chase down in the wild card race and in the Eastern Division loss. Well, Cincinnati beat Toronto 5-4 in the morning game. However, that means Cincinnati's now going to nudge in front of Pittsburgh. Maloney, the win for Cincinnati in the morning game, is 18-8. Casey Janssen, the reliever, took the loss for Toronto, dropping to 2-4. Chapman saved 34 for the Reds. Klasuski hit a pair of home runs for Cincy, numbers 38 and 39 for Toronto. Delgado hit number 36. In the afternoon game, Toronto lost again. Cincinnati beat them 7-6 in 13 innings. And that is going to make life harder for Pittsburgh now. Jeff Shaw was charged with a blown save for Cincinnati, number 1. Bill Henry gets the win, 1-1. The Toronto loss to Dwayne Ward, 4-4, and Gary Nolan of Cincinnati gets his first save. He's normally a long reliever. Pete Rose hit 2 home runs, numbers 15 and 16 for Cincinnati. Kluszewski hit number 40, and Larkin hit number 31. Delgado hit number 37, and Mosby number 15 for Toronto, but 2 critical losses for the Blue Jays. However, Toronto does not lose any ground to Cleveland. This race tightens. The Royals have taken 2 from the Indians. They win the morning game in a big way, 12-5. Apier the win, 13-15. And the Cleveland loss to Siebert, 14-10. Offerman of Kansas City hit the only home run, number 3. So that was the morning game. And in the afternoon game, Kansas City wins again. In 11 innings, the Royals beat Cleveland 7-6. Greg Holland of Kansas City was charged with his 5th blown save. Jeff Montgomery ended up the winner, 4-4 for Cleveland. Rafael Betancourt charged with a loss, 4-2. No homers in the game. So the Indians lose 2. The Blue Jays lose 2. The Pirates lose 2. Cincinnati wins 2. That division really just got tight. Meantime, the Cardinals, because Kansas City won both of their games, still had to win a game to clinch the Gateway Division outright. They came in with a tie clinched. And the Cardinals did just that. They clinched the division with a 9-1 win in that morning game over the Seattle Mariners. Chris Carpenter, 13-10. Over Mark Langston, 10-14. For the Cardinals, McGuire hit a pair, numbers 46 and 47. Pujols a pair, numbers 18 and 19. And George Hendrick hit number 16. The only Mariner run was on home run 17 for Kyle Seager. The Cardinals also win the afternoon game by a score of 8-3. And in this game, Joaquin Andujar the win, 10-17. And the loss to Freddie Garcia, 6-17. Pujols hit his 20th for St. Louis, and that was the only home run in that second game. Now the Tigers, they still had hope, and with Cleveland losing, could they gain ground? Well, in the morning game, they didn't. They lost to the Rockies at Colorado, 19-17. In this game, Detroit scored 3 in the second, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 6 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, and then they didn't score again. They had 17 runs after 7 innings and did not score. Colorado had 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 6 in the fifth for Colorado. And then they came back with 4 in the eighth to win it. They were down 17-15 in the eighth, and they come up with 4 to win it, 19-17. Rockies had 21 hits, the Tigers had 18. Manny Corpus gets the win, 6-5. Willie Hernandez the loss, 2-7. It's his 11th blown save. The Tigers have had horrible luck no matter who they've had at the closer position. Hernandez hasn't worked. Pfister didn't work. And if their pitching had been a little bit better in the bullpen, and frankly 2 of their starters, they win their division. It's amazing that they're as good as they've been given all that turmoil. In the Rocky victory, Gabe White picks up a save, and that's number 32 for Gabe White. Home runs in this one. Ellis Burks a pair, numbers 35 and 36. Matt Holliday hit number 35. Mike Kingery hit number 3. And Rosario hit number 17, all for Colorado. For Detroit, Colavito hit number 34. Greenberg hit number 45. And Freehan hit number 11. 19-17 Rockies, the final in the morning game. And Colorado also wins the afternoon game 12-6, and that just about eliminates Detroit now from any kind of playoff hope. In fact, it does eliminate them out of the wild card race altogether, because they trailed Toronto by about 7 games, and they don't gain any ground on Toronto or Cleveland. That is a crushing pair of losses for Detroit. 12-6 Rockies win the afternoon game. And Detroit had their best pitcher in terms of win-loss record going in this game. Jorge De La Rosa the win, 7-17. Mark Fidrich the loss, 21-4. And in the home run department for Colorado, Eric Young, number 7. Ellis Burks, number 37. That was a slam. And Jeff Reed hit number 13. For Detroit, Colavito, number 35. And Kell, number 24. Finally, we have one matchup on that side of the alignment that had no bearing on the playoffs. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers. Arizona wins the morning game 9-2. Brandon Webb is the winner at 8-13. The loss to Marty Patton, 5-20. The Brewers have 2 starters with 20-plus losses on their team. Home runs for the Diamondbacks: Goldschmidt, number 19, Finley, number 24, and Stephen Drew hit number 9. The Brewers did not hit a home run in that morning game. And then in the afternoon game, the Brewers come back and win big by a score of 13-5. Larry Sorensen is the winner at 5-21. And the loss to Kurt Schilling at 10-16. Dave Nilsson hit number 19 in the home run department for the Brewers. And Steve Finley hit number 25 for Arizona. So that's a wrap for the scores for both the morning and the afternoon sessions for Sunday, February 9. And now, with all of that data, let's give you an updated look at the standings. First in the division races, in the Sun Belt Division, also known as the National League East, the Braves are 91-65. They have 6 games to play. They are idle either tonight or Monday night. Everybody plays Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and all 3 sessions Tuesday. The open dates for the teams that have them are the Sunday night and or the Monday night portions of the schedule. So the Braves are 91-65. They have 1 open date left on their schedule. Houston is 91-66. They have 2 open dates left on their schedule. They trail by a half game, and that difference is in the loss column. In the Central Division, that's the Northeast Corridor, Baltimore is now 91-66, tied with Boston for first place. They are also tied with the Astros in terms of the wild card. We'll go into the wild card in more detail shortly. The Yankees are 89-67. They trail by 1.5, but critically they trail by 2 in the win column, only 1 in the loss column, because the Yankees have an extra game to make up. So there's still hope for the Yankees, but time is running short. The West, the Dodgers have already clinched that. They're 97-59. That's the California division. Now the wild card race. Right now the Astros and the Red Sox and the Orioles are all tied at 91-66. So there would first have to be a playoff to settle the divisional issue with Boston and Baltimore, and then a playoff to break the tie involving the Astros if all that were today. The Yankees and Giants are in a little bit more of a precarious situation. The Yankees are 1.5 back. I mentioned they're 89 and 67. The Giants are 2 back. They're 89 and 68. So the Giants are getting close to running out of time. They're going to need some help here because they are now staring up at 5 teams in front of them in the wild card race. When you factor in the Braves also, since they are just a half game ahead of Houston. On the American League side, first in that wild Eastern Division, which pretty much dictates the wild card as well, Cleveland is still in first. They're 88 and 68. Cincinnati is now 2 back at 86 and 70. Toronto is 85 and 70, 2.5 behind Cleveland, a half game behind Cincinnati in the win column for the wild card. Pittsburgh's 83 and 72. They are 2.5 behind Cincinnati, 2 in the loss column for the wild card, 4.5 behind Cleveland. Those 2 losses for Pittsburgh to Minnesota were critical. And Detroit has now officially been eliminated from any aspect of postseason contention. They're 77 and 78. They've dropped 5 in a row. Cardinals, as I mentioned, have clinched the Gateway Division. They're 84 and 71. Then that Western Division, which is the 4 teams in the Upper Midwest, the White Sox are now 83 and 73 with a magic number of 6. The Twins are 81 and 74, so a game and a half back, but only 1 back in the loss column. The Cubs are 80 and 75. They're now 2.5 back, 2 in the loss column. And so they are running out of time. And the Cubs can now pretty much forget the wild card. They're going to have to win their division. They now trail by 5.5 in the wild card, and with all those teams in front of them, they pretty much don't have a shot at the wild card spot. So the Cubs' only hope is to somehow get back up past the Twins and chase down the White Sox. Now, looking ahead to Sunday night real quick, it's a very abbreviated schedule. Several teams are not playing on the Sunday night schedule, but to give you an idea of what's coming, on the National League side of the alignment, the Yankees play a game against the Marlins, and that's the only game that's going to mean anything. The other game is the Rangers and the Angels. On the American League side of our geographic alignment, the Twins open a series with the Brewers, the Cubs open a series with the Diamondbacks, and the White Sox are idle. So that's the half game that both of those teams can make up. A Cub win brings them within 2. A loss drops them to 3 back. For the Twins, a win brings them within 2. A loss drops them to 1. The Yankees tonight have a chance to gain ground on everybody and get that win that they currently lack in the win column due to the extra game they still needed, which is tonight. The critical game... Yeah, the other critical games in the Eastern Division race, Toronto and Cleveland play one another. If Toronto can win that game, that will really create just a phenomenal finish to that division. Pittsburgh also plays a game that they almost have to win. They play the Royals. The Mariner-Rocky game is meaningless, and the Tigers and Cardinals now meaningless. Detroit's been eliminated, and the Cardinals have clinched their division. That'll wrap it up. We'll have more later.